I came in on Mission Sunday, and it was one of my first times actually at Hoboken Grace. And I was reading through the missions, and I was like, wow, this is really great. I didn't even know this church had missions trips. This is so wonderful. And I was reading through all of them, and I stumbled across the trip that I would eventually go on, which was the Puerto Rico missions trip. And I was reading it, and there was something deep inside me that was like, you're going. And at first I chose to ignore it because I was like, I can't afford that. That's ridiculous. But then I came back the next Sunday, it was there again, and I prayed about it for probably a couple weeks, and then I was like, I have to do this. There were so many signs that was, Shelby, you're going on this trip. At that point, I knew, here I am. I'm going. I didn't know anybody that was on the trip. I barely knew anyone at the church, and it was a huge leap for me. I was very nervous up until the 6 a.m. wake-up call to come to Hoboken Grace and then go to the airport, and I was still nervous in the car to the airport, going through security. I was still with not strangers that eventually would actually become my family. And the moment we landed in San Juan, there was just this calm that came over me. And I have never felt a more sense of belonging and purpose, and God telling me, you're meant to be here in this moment on this trip with these people, serving a community that needs you more than you'll ever know. Going into the trip, we had no idea what to expect. A lot of the leaders were like, we're not gonna know what's needed until we get down there because there's so much that needs to be done. And so when we went down there, we were all just ready. We knew we had to serve, we didn't know what it was gonna look like. And so each morning when we got our assignments, it was all mostly manual labor. The biggest thing that I learned on that trip was how much I can be put to use. And I know during those manual labor when I was struggling, huffing and puffing, that was not me that was working. It was him working through me, and I knew that. And the whole time I was praying, each brick I laid, I was like, this is for the people, this is for the community, this is for Puerto Rico, this is for this family. And that's something that will never leave me. That sense of, I knew that what I was doing was not me. It was for him, through him. No matter what it is, he's there, he's supportive, and even the worst circumstances, he's there shining. And he's taught me how to look at those shining moments and see him through the most darkest times, because when you're down there on those trips, you see a lot of hurting, a lot of need. And those are some of the moments where I saw him most, and I was like, this is where he is, and this is how I personally see him, and now I see it, and I found my passion, which is serving those communities, and now I've joined the missions team to kind of drive it home.